Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to the Devereux Committee of Pro Wrestling, presented by the Idiot Radio Network, offering a weekly look into the world of professional wrestling with guest interviews, news, results, and much more. Now here's your host, Stephon Devereux.
Welcome to the Devereux Committee of Pro Wrestling here on Angry Kids 24/7 Radio. And as of right now, I am an angry man. Right now, I am an angry man. I am one angry man. Why am I so angry? Because this past week has just been draining. It's just been a draining week. Leading up to today, it's been a draining week. But I digress. Anyway, Stephon Devereux, your host. And we're going to, oh my goodness. You know, I didn't even want to do this show today. I am so serious I didn't want to. When I started the week out, I started preparing the show Wednesdays. You know, we go Monday, Tuesday, TV shows and so forth. So I'll start getting my notes together and everything. Note here or there. I may share some stuff on the Angry Kids 24/7 Facebook page, and usually I'll start doing that around Wednesday. So the week was set. The show was basically set on Thursday. The show was set on Thursday. I'm dead serious. I knew exactly what I was going to come into. I knew exactly what I was going to do and how I was going to, what I was going to talk about. I knew that. But sometimes people, life, someone throws a monkey wrench into your plans. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to, everyone I know, because I've been getting hit up. But I'm not going to talk about it right now. We're going to talk about that in the next segment. But before, man, it's Survivor Series Sunday. And Survivor Series and NXT is the last thing that a lot of wrestling fans are talking about right now as far as the message group. So let's get into it. First and foremost, we have a new WWE champion, Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan turned heel and defeated AJ Styles for the championship this past Tuesday night, which means he will now move on to Survivor Series and face Brock Lesnar tonight. Now, we'll talk about that match later in the show when I give my predictions and so forth. But a lot of people were upset about how it went down, but I really don't care. I truthfully don't care. As a person who understands that this business is a work, as a person who understands how this business works, I truly don't care. I truly don't. I'm happy Daniel Bryan's the champion now. Because you know why? Because now people's going to go into Survivor Series not knowing if Brock Lesnar is going to win. Vince, you're a genius again, but we'll talk about that later. Anyway, so Daniel Bryan's the new champion. AJ Styles is pushed to the back again. So, we'll see what happens. Anyway, let's move on. We're going to talk about that later. Another situation happened that it affected the card for Survivor Series big time. And according to the wrestling fans, a lot of fans thought this could have been the match of the night. And that was Becky Lynch taking on Ronda Rousey. I love Ronda Rousey, by the way. Ronda, oh God. She is probably going to be the biggest star to transition from another sport in professional wrestling history ever. Next to Kurt Angle. But we'll talk about that later. But Becky Lynch has now been replaced by Charlotte Flair. Now, why was she replaced? Because in a little smosh between the two factions and so forth, Nia Jax, she accidentally hit Becky in the face and busted her face up and gave her a severe concussion. Now Becky is out of this match. Now, there's been a lot of debate over what happened. You know, and I've heard so many different stories. I heard that Becky stiffed Nia first and Nia got some revenge. I don't know, but who cares? It happened. It's an accident, in my opinion. And right now, that did have a big impact on this card. In my opinion, I think it made it better because Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey, from what I understand, was going to take place at WrestleMania, so they moved it up to this past week or to this weekend, which was cool. I get that. But are you ready? I mean, they could have put a lot more time into this match and just said, you know what, they could have found someone else to do this match instead of Charlotte. But I get it. I understand completely. They're trying to save face. They're trying to keep the fans interested. And I'll get into that match later as well if it's going to be good or not, in my opinion. But I will say this. Becky Lynch is being looked at as, she's the good girl here. She did nothing wrong and so forth. She did nothing wrong. Every wrestler makes a mistake at least once in their career, okay? Every wrestler, female or male, makes a mistake. I'm pretty sure Becky Lynch has made some mistakes in her life as well, in the ring. I just wish people would leave it alone and do not continue to try to bash this woman like Nia Jax did it on purpose just because you love Becky Lynch, okay? For a while now, people have found every reason to dislike Nia Jax, which is insane. Yo, she's not the greatest. She's not the greatest. But the girl has potential. And I keep saying it. This is the problem with the WWE. They want to throw people on television before they're ready. Was Nia ready before this? No, I don't think she was. I still don't think she is. And sometimes I look at Becky Lynch and I say, But they push these people, these young kids on TV so fast, and people expect these kids not to make mistakes. The reason why the Monday Night Wars was so hot, it actually made sense because you had guys who was telling these stories in the ring who have been telling these stories for over 15 years, 20 years. Ric Flair was in the business for over 20 years. Hulk Hogan was in the business for over 20 years. Scott Hall, Kevin Nash was in the business for over 10, 15 years. Steve Austin, on the other side, he was over because he was taught by a guy who was in the territory system. He was taught by other guys who were in territory systems. That's why Steve Austin, in my opinion, was able to get over so fast because he was taught. These kids don't have an opportunity to be taught. They're in a class full of, let's say, just look at it from a school perspective. If you're in a class full of 30 students, you got one teacher, how the hell are you supposed to learn? And that's usually what's taking place in a lot of these wrestling schools on the independent scene, and somewhat to the effect at the Performance Center from what I understand. I've never been down there, but come on, think about it. What do you expect? These accidents are going to happen. I'm surprised more hasn't. You sit here and destroy this girl, Nia Jax, because you don't like her. But you say nothing about Seth Rollins for the guys he has hurt. Samoa Joe for the guys he's hurt. And Samoa Joe, out of all people, should have known better. Yes. So think about that. But we're going to destroy this girl, a young professional wrestler. She's green. And for the other wrestlers to go out, the only one who I was checking out Bubba Ray Dudley's podcast, and the only one that really hasn't destroyed her was the Big Show. Because she's a big girl. She's strong. She's powerful. One slip can bust somebody up. It's just that simple. That's pro wrestling. Do I give Becky Lynch credit for what she did afterwards? Of course. She didn't go back whining and crying, but then you go to social media and Twitter, and unless the WWE is using this to help get Nia over, then they should just shut everybody down from talking about it. It's just that simple. Shut them down from talking about it so this is not a big story, because what you want to do is you are going to alienate this one girl that you actually see potential in, that you are actually investing money in. You are investing money into this girl's character right now. So that's the only way that's going to be handled. The WWE is going to have to come in here and shut this all down, or let it ride and let this build Nia. Love that girl. Anyway, that's how I feel about that. Also in the news, we got to go to a break soon, but also in the news, Jim Ross took a fall. I mean, to be honest with you, if you've seen the pictures, I'm asking Jim, bro, who beat you up? I mean, who knocked you out? Did you not pay a bookie or something? Because Jim Ross looked, oh, my goodness, that face. He fell. He says he fell on concrete, scraped his face up. He has a black eye and a scraped face. He was either ripped, fell over, and his face, he laid there for a while, or somebody knocked him out. I'm going to listen to JR, because I trust JR. But there's a guy who didn't care too much for JR, and his name is Sabu. Sabu, really? You know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a break. And when I come back, I want to talk about Sabu, and then we're going to talk about my friend who's going through a tough time right now, and I'll tell you how I feel about that here on the Devereux Committee-of-Pro Wrestling, Angry Kids 24/7 Radio. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Angry Kids 24/7 Radio. Angry Kids 24/7 Radio. How to text a guy to keep him interested? It's a question many women ask daily. Well, Amy North believes she has found the answer with how to text a guy to keep him interested. It's a new course that she has put together, and it's helping ladies all across the world. You can go to howtotextaguytokeephiminterested.weebly.com for more information. Amy says she has the answer, so find out there at howtotextaguytokeephiminterested.weebly.com.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is real.
You can recover.
It's possible. It happens every day.
Never give up on yourself.
Discover hope and help.
I thought I was too far gone. I wasn't.
Join the Voices for Recovery.
The world is a beautiful place again.
For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral for mental and substance use disorders for you or someone you know, call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
I'm getting older. Do I need to worry about falling?
Yes, you do. Each year, 1 in 4 people 65 and older will experience a fall, and many will be serious. The majority of falls happen at home, so remove things that could make you trip and install handrails to keep you steady. To learn more about the steps you can take to help prevent a fall, please talk to your doctor. You can also visit aarpfoundation.org or medicaremadeclear.com/falls. This message was brought to you by United Healthcare and AARP Foundation.
You're listening to Angry Kids 24/7 Radio. Angry Kids 24/7 Radio.
Discover the weird. And we are back. The Devereux Committee-of-Pro Wrestling, Stephon Devereux, Angry Kids 24/7 Radio. Oh yeah, we doing big things. Got some big announcements coming up in the next few weeks. Don't want to talk about that right now. We got some bigger issues to put on the table here on the Devereux Committee. And, well, yeah, I'd rather talk about these things. First and foremost, like I was saying about Sabu, I was talking about Jim Ross in the last segment and how he fell, put the picture on social media, and social media blew up over the picture. He had scrapes on his face and a black eye and blah, blah, blah. Just go check it out. It's probably on his Twitter page or Instagram page still. It's good old JR. But Sabu, out of all people, decided to run his mouth about Jim Ross. And what he did was, he says he was pretty much telling Jim Ross to die. I don't want to get into his speech, but he pretty much was telling Jim Ross to die. And it was pretty sad because, man, Sabu, bro, you need to chill out, and I'm going to tell you why you need to chill out in a second. But what he did was he then came back last night and he put a response up on his social media site. Could have been Twitter. Who cares? I don't follow Sabu. But Sabu put his reasoning why up there on it, and why he did it, because Jim Ross owes him some money off of a past show. Owes his uncle money from a past show 30 years ago at the NWA. And man, come on, B. You can't. Really, Sabu? Really? And then he said that. Well, I'm not even going to tell you what he said because I really don't want to spend too much time on this subject. But I want you to go and check out his social media site. Go and check out his Twitter site, please. Go check out his Twitter site. You tell me what you think. You tell me what you think. You go to the Angry Kids 24/7 page on Facebook, and you leave me a message there, or you can email me at stephondevereux@gmail.com, and you tell me what you think, because, oh, my goodness. Sabu, yes, you have lost your mind. Let's just say that. And I don't care. I'm not afraid of you, dude. I was never afraid of you back then when I would do shows and you would be on these shows. I was never afraid of you back then because you're, to me, good, hey, love the gimmick and so forth, but outside of the ring, you was always an a-hole. But I won't go any further. Right now, Sabu's caught up in some stuff. He's caught up in a situation that's not going to be brought up on this show because I really don't care about Sabu, like I said. But I want to talk about another friend of mine. Look, there were some allegations made by a 16-year-old girl in Massachusetts that she was at an indie show and she exchanged social media information with a friend of mine named James Ellsworth, and they talked and he sent pictures and so forth. Anyway, see, the reason for people was waiting for me to do this because I didn't really do too much except for in a wrestling group. But let me tell you what I feel. These are allegations, and can he get some that due process? Can we let this thing play out, please? Because a situation happened recently with another pro wrestler, Enzo Amore. And her story, the girl kind of cracked. Let's just say that story was, proven to be false. Now, this situation, I know stuff, but I don't care to tell because why would I? But I'm going to tell you this. The man that I know, me personally, Aaron Lester, Stephon Devereux, the persons that I know, Jimmy Dream, Jim Morris, James Ellsworth, Nobby, this ain't happening. I know the man, and I'm going to go off of what I know. Now, could I be completely wrong? Yes. But I know this man. I've known this man for over 10 years. My kids know this man. My family knows this man. And this is not the person we know. But what I would like to say is, okay, what's bothering me is, because I understand people, I understand the society that we live in today. You are presumed guilty before you can prove your innocence. I get that. Okay, I understand that completely. But what ticks me off is we got all of these so-called fans or so-called workers, okay, who said, oh, well, yeah, I knew he was doing this, right? Yeah, it's about time he got what he deserves and blah, 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 blah. Okay. Then if you knew he was doing this before, then why didn't you say anything? Why didn't you say a word? See, that's the problem. If you knew he was doing, it's the same thing I said about the Bill Cosby situation. If you knew he was doing this and had all this evidence in the past that he was doing this, why didn't you say a word? Why? This man's been traveling around the world for about over 2 years now. Since he exploded in the WWE, he's been traveling around the world for 2 years now. Over 2 years now. And you decided not to say a word? You knew he was doing this, knew he was going to be around kids, knew he was going to be around female fans. You knew this. You knew this. But did you say a word? There's a guy that I've been arguing with on social media the past 72 hours, or excuse me, 24 hours. Spelled all 3 days, I'll tell you that though. And this guy swears up and down that he has all this proof, has this and has that. He said he knew this. And I asked him, well, if you knew this, why didn't you say anything? Because he said he was waiting for someone else to take him down. Wait a minute. So you're going to risk other females and other people getting hurt, possibly getting hurt, because you didn't want to say a word. You was waiting for someone else to do it. You know what that makes you, buddy? You know what that makes you? A coward. You're a coward. You're a coward. You are a coward, a coward, a coward, a coward. That's what it makes you. A coward. If you say you knew this and that goes for all of you people who says you knew something like this was going on and he was a weirdo and he was a creep, you said nothing. Because for everybody that sits there and say they knew something and said something and blah, 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 I can go and get at least 3 people to match out their one that say they won't believe this for a second because they know the man. They've been around the man. The man has slept in their house. The man has been around their children. The man has been around their nieces, their nephews. I've seen fans come out, female fans come out and say there's no way. There's no way. My own son sat on Twitter on Friday and found holes. But see, the problem is you people in today's society loves to presume someone guilty before you know anything else. All they got to do is say, he did this or she did that, and guess what? You automatically presume they're guilty. Automatically. So, I'm not going to pass judgment besides of what I know of the man. I don't know this young lady. I don't. And I pray she gets the help she needs if something like this did happen. But if it didn't happen, I pray she gets the help that she needs. But I will not sit here and put this thing on trial. I will not be a judge, the jury, the executioner on my show. I will report what I know. I'll tell you my opinions, and we'll go from there. You can be mad at me. You can call me and tell me how you feel. I don't mind that. But we have to stop presuming someone is guilty before we know everything. This is America, people. This is America. You don't have to like the guy. I know people who do not like this man, and they say there's no way. Everyone has their own opinion. They're entitled to that. But we should not presume someone is guilty until they get their fair chance to tell their side of the story. And let the court system, legal system, whatever, handle it. Because as of this moment, the cops are still not involved. But I digress. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back here on the Devereux Committee-of-Pro Wrestling, and we will have some predictions for Survivor Series.
You're listening to Angle Kids 24/7 Radio. Angle Kids 24/7 Radio.
Okay, we're back. Okay, Stephon Devereux, the Devereux Committee-of-Pro Wrestling. Okay, yeah, we were told that. Yeah, the time is gone. Okay, I get it. Survivor Series. Oh, man. Now, Survivor Series is one of my favorite pay-per-views of the year. It's not the same as it used to be, when all the matches were elimination matches, 5-on-5 elimination matches. I mean, that was the greatest idea. One of the greatest ideas next to the Royal Rumble. By the way, shout out to Pat Patterson, I really want to give you a shout out because, you know, I've seen a documentary recently, and I said, man, there were so many things that Pat Patterson contributed to this business, and he deserves some credit right now because the wrestling business can use a Pat Patterson. Anyway, I digress. Let's go to the predictions. Okay, first and foremost, I'm only going to talk about a couple matches, the main matches, in my opinion. Of course, as always, that's how I do it. Okay, so we got for Daniel Bryan taking on Brock Lesnar. Now, I told you earlier that Daniel Bryan became the new SmackDown champion, WWE champion, and, you know, Brock Lesnar, he's the Universal champion, and boom. Well, Daniel Bryan's also a heel, so this is kind of weird now because Brock Lesnar is more of a tweener than a heel, than a babyface. He's right there in the middle, and Daniel Bryan, even though he is a heel, these fans are going to cheer him. So this is going to be a pretty interesting match in my opinion. I can't wait to check it out. But I'm taking I got to take Brock Lesnar. I'm taking Brock Lesnar in 5 minutes or less. The reason why I'm saying this is because Daniel Bryan, remember, he pissed off the office when he decided not to do the Saudi Arabia show. Okay, he did piss them off. You know he did. He pissed them off. So what better way to get him back? Oh, you give him the championship, put him on the pay-per-view against your beast, Brock Lesnar, and let Brock Lesnar maul him for 5 minutes. That's how I think the match is going to go down. Brock Lesnar is going to beat him in 5 minutes or less. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Anyway, yes. The other match I'm really, really interested in is the Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey match. Now, look, I didn't put too much thought into this match. I'm going to be honest with you. But I really think this is going to be a classic. If they let these females go in there and do their thing, 15, 20 minutes, I believe that this could be a classic. I know Charlotte can carry Ronda. I know Ronda has the charisma to get her spots over in this match. I know. I just don't think there's going to be a winner. I don't think there's going to be a winner, and here's what I'm saying. I think Nia Jax and Tamina is going to come in and interfere and beat the stuff out of both of these females. And Nia Jax is going to make claim and say she wants a women's championship match against Ronda Rousey. Why would she do that? Because she knocked out the girl who was in line for the title. So why not do it that way? And that's what I think is going to happen. So I'm going to have to take a no contest on that match. I'm also taking the Raw side. Raw's going to beat SmackDown in the elimination match. That's how it always happens. Braun Strowman's going to be the last guy standing for Raw, and the fans are going to be able to cheer, clap, la, 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 la. You know how I feel about Braun Strowman. I think it's not that, man. You know how I feel about Braun Strowman. I can go into my detail about Braun Strowman, but we only have less than 90 seconds in the show. But, man, so I'm taking, like I said, Raw, and Braun Strowman is the sole survivor for Raw. And those are the matches I care about for tonight's pay-per-view Survivor Series. Like I said, if you want to hit me up, you can email me at StephonDevereux@gmail.com, or you can go to our Facebook page, which is Angry Kids 24/7 Radio. To leave us a message there, please like and the page, and promise we got some pretty interesting stuff. Some great content every day. Also, check out my latest single, "The Storm." It's in the description box. Excuse me. It's called "The Storm." It's getting some good reviews. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it. A lot of the bloggers are out there saying their thing. Thank you, bloggers, showing me some love. But other than that, I want to thank you for joining me today and every day that you join me Monday through Friday on Angry Kids 24/7 Radio from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for the Stephon Devereux Show. Nothing but old school hits and the new school classics. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.
You're listening to Angry Kids 24/7 Radio. Angry Kids 24/7 Radio.
How to text a guy to keep him interested. It's a question many women ask daily. Well, Amy North believes she has found the answer with How to Text a Guy to Keep Him Interested. It's a new course that she has put together, and it's helping ladies all across the world. You can go to howtoTextAGuyToKeepHimInterested.weebly.com for more information. Amy says she has the answer, so find out there at howtoTextAGuyToKeepHimInterested.weebly.com.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders